exchange of 2,000 rupee notes that begins today. Now remember, you can go up to the nearest bank next to you and either exchange the 2,000 rupee notes that are in your possession or even deposit them.
Rishika, there's a limit to the amount of notes that you can deposit, right?
Well, we'll go to Vedant for clarifications on all of that. There's a limit to the amount of notes you can deposit at a time. So essentially, if you have many notes that are lying with you, that's going to entail multiple trips to the bank. But we're given to understand, Vedant, that this process is actually going to begin at around 10 a.m. But what does it entail? What does a common person who is planning to go to the bank today or in the coming few days to exchange the 2,000 rupee notes or deposit them, what does he or she need to know?
So Rishika, a couple of important things. Remember, it depends on your bank as to if your bank is 8 to 8, if your bank is 9 to 9, you can go to your respective banks according to that. The other important thing is, well, as you rightly pointed out, at a time you can exchange only 22,000 rupee notes. That means there is a limit of 20,000 rupees. But you can queue up as many times as possible. This is an important caveat here, that you can queue up as many times as possible outside a particular bank. But at a given time, you can exchange only 22,000 rupee notes. That is, there is a limit of rupees 20,000. Now remember, the fact is that you have time from the 23rd of May, that is today, till September the 30th. So which is why we don't see rush outside banks at all, because of course people know that there is a time, there is about more than 3 months that you have to exchange your 2,000 rupee notes. And here, this is an Indian bank here at the Parliament Street, and it's already open, but we don't see a rush here. We were expecting that people might go to banks after on their morning walks, etc. But right now we don't see that queues outside banks at all, given the fact that there is significant time. And the other important thing is, as you pointed out, that even after the 30th of September, they will, the 2,000 rupee notes will continue to be legal tender. Now, an important clarification coming from SBI was that there is no requisition slip or identity proof that you require to exchange these particular notes. This is important because remember, there were a couple of rumors doing the rounds that you would need your PAN card and your identity card. But the important clarification coming from SBI that you will not require any requisition slip or identity proof. You just have to go to your bank and exchange your 2,000 rupee notes. Now, the RBI Governor has also given various important clarifications with regard to deposits. Now remember, there are several private banks that had said that had told its customers, such as the Axis Bank and the HSBC, they told their customers, as per people and their what they've been tweeting, etc., that they will require to get their PAN cards to deposit 2,000 rupee notes in their bank accounts. However, there is no such blanket rule. We reached out to various private banks as well, and they also said that there is no blanket rule about bringing your identity card or your PAN card for deposits. And as the RBI Governor significantly said, that ultimately it's going to be the Income Tax Department which will be monitoring deposits. So it has nothing to do with the RBI. You can deposit as much as you want as far as your 2,000 rupee notes are concerned. So right now, no queues, no significant queues outside banks, but as the day progresses, we can expect people lining up outside banks.
Interestingly, Vedant has made it very clear. So it's not on a particular day that you can only withdraw 10. You can only withdraw 10 of those notes. You can actually deposit 10 of those notes. You can actually go multiple times in the course of the day as well. Vedant.
That's right, and that is something that SBI and its public advisory had also said. Remember, government sources have told us that while there is a cap of 20,000 rupees at one given time, you can line up as many times as you want. So essentially, you can go to the bank, exchange your notes or deposit, then come back to the queue up again, and exchange your notes further. So of course, since there's a lot of time, people are not really rushing.
Sure.
But of course, there is a spike in terms of buying gold and also queues outside petrol pumps.
It's going to be interesting, Vedant, to see not just how this story plays out outside the banks where you are, but also how it plays out on the ground. For instance, one saw the sort of rushed to give 2,000 rupee notes away at petrol pumps yesterday, which is a story that we reported on. There's also a rush to buy gold in certain parts. But let's also go across to Himanshu joining us from outside a bank in Delhi also at the moment. But Himanshu, before we come down to the brass tacks, give us a sense of the overview. The rationale behind this decision. Yesterday, interestingly, the RBI governor said that the purpose of introducing a 2,000 rupee note has essentially been served. Therefore, there is this whole exchange mechanism that's going to happen. Many at this moment would ask why? What's the need?
Well, that's the big question. And see, the RBI has already clarified on this in very clear terms. RBI has said that these 2,000 rupee notes were introduced in November 2016. And remember, this is the time when the government had taken a decision, the RBI had taken a decision to withdraw 500 and 1,000 rupee notes. And the RBI note says that to meet the immediate currency requirement of the economy after withdrawal of the legal tender status of all 500 and 1,000 rupee notes in circulation at that time, this decision was taken to bring in a 2,000 rupee note. But the RBI says that the printing was stopped in 2018-19, and today, because there is enough availability of banknotes in adequate quantity, that is why this decision has been taken. The argument also is that there is a clear note policy of the RBI, which is a policy which ensures that all currency notes which are in circulation in the market are of good quality to the common people. That essentially means that every currency has a number, it has a certain color, it has a certain printing. And so to ensure that the good quality notes are available to the general public, RBI does withdraw notes and issues new notes from time to time. And RBI's argument is that under the clear note policy to ensure good quality notes, it was necessary to withdraw the 2,000 rupee notes which were issued in 2016, 7 years back. So this is the primary argument. I'm outside the SBI office, the biggest SBI office, Rishika, in Delhi at Parliament Street. And as you can see behind me at the moment, there's few media people have come. There is security also here, but people have as yet not lined up. I've been told that this bank will open around 10 a.m. and that's when the big picture will come as to how many people actually turn up today. But 2-3 things. The RBI has directed very specific directions to all the banks to ensure that on day one, they have to ensure that branches have enough cash with them to obtain, and they should obtain banknotes of other denominations so that when people queue up in large numbers, more and more cash can be made available to them in smaller denominations. Second, appropriate infrastructure. It talks about shaded waiting space because the heat is going up. The summer season has already arrived. And so if large number of people come up and if you have to queue up them in a big line, then you have to ensure that shaded waiting spaces are created. This infrastructure is necessary. Drinking water facilities for people, other basic amenities. And it even says that even for senior citizens and disabled people, special arrangements have to be made by the bank. So very clear, specific directions have been given to RBI. And day one, of course, will be a test for all the banks also, Rishika, to see how far they have actually put in place the necessary infrastructure and whether they have the adequate quantity of cash actually to exchange all the 2,000 notes they are going to receive today.
Right, and it's very interesting, Himanshu, that you raised the question about the soaring temperatures, because remember, we are actually seeing heat wave conditions across Delhi and several parts of the national capital region, including Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, several other states at the moment. Is that actually going to be a deterrent for people to step out at this time? Will we perhaps, because of the weather conditions, adverse weather conditions at the moment, see
Rishika, it also
rush
brings to mind the mishaps that took place during demonetization, when people are queuing up outside the banks.
Yes. So
well, that's right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's right. See, of course, but there is a window. RBI Governor made it very clear yesterday that there is no need for anyone to rush to a bank. because you have a window of 4 months, 7 days ahead of you. Till September 30th, you can get these notes exchanged. And even after that, they remain a legal tender, though RBI is encouraging common people to exchange the notes because the process of withdrawal has actually started. And I can tell you that large number of people had in fact turned up in this SBI office on Saturday itself, just a day after the RBI announced the withdrawal of 2,000 rupee notes. And around 60 lakh 2,000 rupee notes were actually deposited in SBI Bank. Remember, the RBI directive is very clear. It says that there are no limits on how much money you can deposit. The rationale is that for depositing money in your bank account, there is a certain procedure you have to follow. And of course, it goes into the bank records that this person has submitted this denomination of notes, and this is the number of notes that has been submitted in this bank account. So as per the KYC norms that already exist, a common bank customer can just walk into his bank branch and submit and deposit as many 2,000 rupee notes as he wants to. The challenge, of course, is on the 2,000 rupee exchange policy, and that is exactly where we have to keep a very close eye, because remember, of all the notes that were circulated of 2,000 rupee denomination, around 10.8% were still in circulation on 31st March 2023. In economic terms, it means 3.62 lakh crore. So that's a gigantic task actually. This is 3,62,000 crore rupee is the money that the RBI now wants to withdraw over next 4 months and 7 days.
Himanshu, you're putting it in perspective for us, but on Saturday, over 50 lakh rupee 2,000 notes have already been deposited.
That's right, in this SBI branch. That's what we have been told. And remember, there was earlier also no restriction on depositing money. Even before the 2,000 rupee withdrawal policy was announced, people used to come. Remember, traders do the trading in the day, businessmen, they do their business in the day, and in the evening, most of them come to their bank offices and they submit the currency and the cash that they actually collect during the day. So this is a regular process for lakhs of people in this country, and as part of this process, they have already been submitting this amount of money earlier also. But the RBI policy to withdraw, of course, is a new thing in the sense that it gives you a deadline that by 30th September you have to complete this process. Yeah.
Right.
Well, many questions at the moment. Are there adequate 500 rupee notes? Will the 1,000 rupee note perhaps be reintroduced at some point? All of that's going to be a wait and watch. But Vedant and Himanshu, thanks very much for joining us. Quickly, let's cut across to a report sent to us by Janani from a bank in Connaught Place. Let's see what she had to say.
As you can see behind me, there's Punjab National Bank, and a little further ahead, Bank of India, two public bankers today. Today is the day that the public can exchange their 2,000 rupee notes for smaller denominations. Now, the RBI Governor, who was in Delhi yesterday, has noted that there is no cause for worry, and RBI has also issued notifications on having banks prepared for this eventuality. Now, banks have been advised to have shade facility, water facility, the adequate infrastructure to help public who are coming in to exchange their notes. As of Friday, after the announcement, on Saturday and on Monday, 2 bank working days, public could exchange, not exchange, however, deposit their notes. And as of today, they can exchange their 2,000 rupee notes for smaller denominations. The crowd has not yet, built up here. As you can see, it is expected that things will go smoothly. The RBI director has continuously cautioned that there is no cause for worry, no cause for panic. There are over 4 months' time for public to exchange their 2,000 rupee notes. We'll be seeing what will unfold today.